Welcome to the Crime Cast. Are you guys intrigued by the secrets that lurk inside real crime stories? Do you find yourself captivated by the dark and mysterious realm of criminal minds? If that's the case, be ready to fulfill your curiosity. This is the video you've been looking forward to. In this video, we'll reveal bizarre crime stories of 8 true crime stories in today's cast. Prepare to be disturbed. 8 bizarre crime stories, from white-collar to organized crime. These are the cases that expose the terrible nature that lurks in society's shadows and also reveals the dark sides of society. Are you prepared to face the creatures that previously hid in plain sight? White-collar crime significantly impacts society, whether it be insider trading, money laundering, or general financial gimmickry. Let's get started right away. Our first crime story is the Enron collapse. Enron was a seemingly invincible energy powerhouse at the start of the 2000s, with revenues surpassing $100 billion and the honor of being chosen by Fortune as America's most innovative company. Even during its ascent in the 1990s, suspicions circulated that it was involved in unlawful accounting practices with its accounting firm Arthur Andersen, which was then one of the big 5 accounting firms. Jeffrey Skilling, who was the president, COO, and CEO, disguised billions of dollars in debt through bad financial reporting, accounting loopholes, and the use of special-purpose corporations, coupled with a team he established. Andrew Fastow, COO, misled the board of directors about the company's accounting processes and persuaded Arthur Andersen to join him. After the stock market crashed, the SEC launched an investigation, which culminated in Skilling's 24-year, 4-month jail term and Fastow's 6-year penalty. Kenneth Lay, the founder, died of cardiac arrest before he was sentenced. The second story on our list is the in-stock trading scandal. Another episode in the early 2000s white-collar crime drama. The in-stock trading controversy gained news due to Martha Stewart's participation, who sold nearly $230,000 of her company's shares a day before an experimental cancer medication failed to receive FDA clearance. She was convicted of obstruction of justice, conspiracy, and lying about a stock sale and sentenced to 5 months in jail. Founder Samuel Waskal pleaded guilty to the bank fraud, securities fraud, obstruction of justice, and perjury after advising friends and relatives to sell shares and attempting to sell his stock before the announcement. He was sentenced to 7 years and 3 months in jail in 2009, but was freed the same year. Adelphia Collapses, the third story of our list, is starting from here. Adelphia was the 5th largest cable provider in the United States at the time of its bankruptcy in 2002, and in 2003 it earned more than $3.6 billion in revenue, barely $1.3 billion more than the company's off-balance sheet debt, which contributed to his death. The founder, John Regers, and his son, Timothy Regers, who oversaw the firm, are presently serving 15 and 20-year jail terms for stealing money from corporate investors and misusing corporate finances. Adelphia's more than 50-year career came to an end in 2006 when Comcast and Time Warner bought the balance of its revenue-generating assets. HealthSouth accounting scandal. HealthSouth, one of the country's leading comprehensive rehabilitative services organization, has been accused of unethical financial activities from its inception in the late 1980s. According to the Department of Justice, it was determined that it faked at least $2.7 billion in earnings from 1996 and 2002 under the leadership of Richard Scrushy, and eventually agreed to pay $325 million for allegedly cheating Medicare and other government healthcare programs. Scrushy was cleared of charges linked to the case, but was subsequently convicted to 6 years and 10 months in jail for bribery and mail fraud in an unrelated case. Remember that this was the 4th story on our list. 5th story, Marcus Renker fraud and attempted fake death. Although he didn't have the same level of influence as persons like Lay, Ebers, or Kozlovsky, Renker, who controlled 3 financial enterprises, amassed a fortune as an investment advisor in charge of multi-million-dollar pension funds. But it all vanished in a second. His failure to warn 7 investors of exorbitant costs for transferring annuities and the subsequent loss of $250,000 prompted the Indiana Department of Insurance to file a complaint in 2008, heightening suspicions about his unscrupulous actions. An inquiry was eventually launched when his Indiana State financial advisor's license expired. Instead of facing the repercussions of his actions, Renker attempted to fake his death in 2009 by faking a plane crash and parachuting out before the harm was done. Now we're moving to the sixth crime story on our list, Jack Abramoff lobbying scandal. Abramoff's crimes had far-reaching ramifications, exposing politicians and even the mob in a distinctly Washington story worthy of his film. He pled convicted to fraud, conspiracy, and tax evasion in 2006 for his attempts to defraud Indian casino gaming interests of around $85 million in fees. A few months later, he was sentenced to 17 months in jail for utilizing a bogus wire transfer to qualify for a $60 million loan in the purchase of Sun Cruise Casinos, a transaction that culminated in the death of former owner Konstantinos Gouspoulis. Tycho accounting scandal. After a year being named one of Businessweek's top 25 corporate managers in 2001, it was revealed that Tycho CEO Denis Kozlovsky and former CFO Mark Swartz took more than $150 million from the company, including $2 million for a birthday party for Kozlovsky's wife in Sardinia. The thieving guys were saved after the initial trial was deemed a mistrial after a member of the jury said she got a letter pushing her to support the prosecution. The second trial ended with Kozlovsky and Swartz being convicted and sentenced to no less than 8 years and 4 months in jail. Al Capone's tax evasion. During Prohibition, the Chicago gangster acquired a fortune by bootlegging booze, extortion, murder, and other mafia rackets. Capone's grip on his organization was so strong that authorities could never catch him, even during the legendary St. Valentine's Day massacre. However, an accounting error did. Capone owed the government $215,000 in back taxes. The overdue taxes were discovered by FBI agent Elliot Ness and his investigating team. Capone received an 11-year jail term. It wasn't great in terms of justice, but it was something. This event is told in the 1987 film The Untouchables, starring Robert De Niro as Al Capone and Kevin Costner as Ness. Thanks for watching. We hope this video has brought you valuable insights and information. So don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and click the bell icon.